She's getting more humble as the day goes on.
I know.
We want Virginia.
I wanted Debbie to come out here and read something, but first we do have one more of the Beat Poet Laureates who's damn lucky to be here, who's going to be late, the Beat Poet Laureate of Connecticut, Virginia Shreve.
Virginia, yeah.
Okay, I've got two poems. The first one is You Could Say. You could say we are but bellows and pump, lust and grunt, a bony scaffold, a meaty drape, and blood. Oh, so much blood. Our doomsday abacus directing us, yearning but a glandular condition, a chemical souffle, poetry a misfiring of synapse, a speech impediment, music, binary derangement. You could say, but I hope you do not. What I want you to say is that you remember running in a frozen field at midnight, how the moon, how the night, how the stars came down like a hammer, how every molecule sang and hurt and danced. Alive is not holy, you protest. Maybe it is, I cry. You make the body a sacrament, you cry. You make the soul a dung heap, I reply. What I want you to say is that you saw my brothers fishing in dawn mist or silver twilight in Montana or along the Mississippi. No, not the ones in Minnesota, the dead ones. I want you to say you heard their laughter and maybe shared a beer. If there ever were ghosts who would carry a six-pack, it would be them. What I want you to say is my name, the name I was called in childhood, the way I always wanted it to hear it, with tenderness and joy, as if I was the one who brought you light. You could say we are but bellows and pump. You could say we are forgotten before our first suckling breath. You could say, but I hope you do not. Okay, the one other is kind of ride the twin horses of deep despair and laughter, and sometimes I think I'm going along just fine, holding the reins of one, and then I get kidnapped, shanghaied, and sashayed to another. I went to see a famous poet with a friend of mine who really, really liked him, and she wanted to go up and see him afterwards. I went with her, and when I got up there, I just blurted out the first thing that came into my head, which is not always the very best thing one might say. So anyway, this one is called, I Think Billy Collins is Going to Steal My Dogs. I say, when I heard you were reading, I was so giddy with delight, I dressed my dogs in frilly hats. I'm sure he has heard that 1,000 times, but manages a smile and asks politely what their names are. Tallulah and Thurber. I see his brown eyes flicker, and I know I have lit the fire of Jimmy Stewart with a stiletto. He is going to steal my dogs. Not the dogs themselves, as they are of some heft and hardly portable without earth-moving equipment, not to mention numerous valises and suitable bribes, preferably featuring viscera of some sort, but their names for literary plunder. I fear he shall make Tallulah a poodle or an Afghan hound, which, although lamentable from my point of view, understandable considering the coiffures and the attitude. Just please, sir, I plead, have the decency not to make her a lasso opso. One of those snapping hair tossers nearly precipitated my arrest by the secret police in Budapest in the 80s. So surely you can understand my reluctance. Draped in a fox fur, she rumbas when she walks, carves the air with hip sling and blow back. One might not think this possible in a quadruped, but corgis quiver and adjust their bow ties. Great Danes waggle their eyebrows and perfect their pickup lines. Baby, baby. Baby, may I soak your silken ears with my spittle and couple you like a caboose? Yes, the standard wheedle. But with finesse like that, is it any wonder there are so many unwed puppy mamas? In all honesty, she would probably prefer Mr. Collins' portrait of herself as Fido Fatale than to hear one more time my screech beseech, do not under any circumstances roll in that dead fish, Tallulah. But we cannot always choose our biographers. I suspect he may make Thurber a hound, bejowled, a profile that would look good in spectacles. He may employ him as an emissary of some sort. I'm not sure what, but emissary seems like a word he would like. But a pendulipus hound, the kind of dog one can imagine pondering things, not all of them fetid. Anyway, not the giddy retriever he truly is, all tongue and tail and gonad and chipmunk lust. All that I truly ask is that he provide a suitably late demise, perhaps an ill-considered, albeit glorious, digestive incident. A gastronomic gala of epic proportions. A meat and cheese coma would do nicely, with a whipped cream flourish. His final exhale a phantasmagoric belch into the stupefied but appreciative universe. A spew to rival Vesuvius, his soul expelled in a gargantuan gaseous eructation. The Thurber effect. Cloud formations, certain weather events, henceforth to be christened the Thurber effect. Cover the potato salad, Madge. Grab your bratwurst and run for cover. What dog wouldn't wish the same? Or instead, yes, let him soar off a cliff after a bird, a ball, a notion, his heart stopping just at that moment after he exults, I'm flying! And just before he realizes that once again it is quite possible, more than likely in fact, that he is a damn knucklehead. So, Mr. Collins, these are my terms. No lasso opsos and a spectacular exit. Otherwise, name the cat fandango, the sway-backed hamster crab rangoon, the ferret Farquhar Burgoyne if you must. Wreath them in sonnet sly villanelle and amble off to glory. Nary a hard feeling in sight. So now we've got people who